Alright, everyone, let's dive into an interesting hypothetical. Who would be better suited in the DC universe, Spider-Man or Wolverine? To figure this out, we need to look at their personalities, abilities, and how their stories would mesh with the world of DC. First up, Spider-Man. Peter Parker is known for being relatable. He's that young adult who juggles everyday struggles with superhero responsibilities. This everyman quality would bring a new, refreshing perspective to the DC universe, which often features more mythic heroes. Then there's Spider-Man's humor and wit. He's always got a quip, even in the middle of a fight. This light-hearted nature would contrast nicely with the often darker, more serious tone of the DC universe, providing some much-needed levity. Now, let's talk about his abilities. Spider-Man's powers, wall crawling, superhuman strength and agility, and his iconic web-slinging would fit well in the DC universe. They'd allow for dynamic team-ups and exciting combat scenes. Plus, Peter Parker is a scientific genius. His tech skills could be a huge asset to teams like the Justice League. Imagine him collaborating with Batman or Cyborg. That could lead to some really interesting tech-driven storylines. In terms of setting, Spider-Man's natural habitat, the bustling city, is very similar to Gotham or Metropolis. He'd seamlessly fit into the urban crime-fighting scene, teaming up with heroes like Batman and Nightwing. And his rogues gallery, villains like the Green Goblin and Dr. Octopus, would bring fresh challenges and interesting conflicts to the DC universe. These battles often have a personal, emotional depth that could add a new layer of complexity to DC stories. Next, we have Wolverine, aka Logan. He's got a darker, more violent persona. This grim, brooding nature aligns well with the darker aspects of the DC universe, especially in stories involving characters like Batman or Deathstroke. Wolverine's themes of loneliness and redemption, and his struggle with his berserker rage, would resonate with many DC characters who deal with their own inner demons, like Batman or Green Arrow. Wolverine's powers, his regenerative healing factor, enhanced senses, and retractable adamantium claws, make him a formidable combatant. His ability to survive severe injuries and his unyielding resilience would add a unique dynamic to DC battles. Logan's experience as a soldier and his hand-to-hand combat skills would make him a valuable ally or adversary. His brutal fighting style fits well in the violent, street-level battles of Gotham or the war-torn regions of Themyscira. As an anti-hero, Wolverine would fit seamlessly into morally complex groups like the Suicide Squad or the Outlaws. His willingness to operate in gray areas would add depth to team dynamics, and his long lifespan and historical connections could provide interesting crossovers with DC's legacy characters, like Wonder Woman or Hawkman, who also have rich, storied pasts. So, how do they integrate with DC heroes? Spider-Man's youth and humor would bring a new dynamic to teams like the Teen Titans or the Justice League, adding a lighter, more human touch. Wolverine's darker, more violent nature would mesh well with grittier aspects of DC, fitting naturally into street-level stories or morally complex teams. For storytelling, Spider-Man's personal struggles and scientific acumen offer engaging, relatable storylines. Wolverine's themes of redemption, violence, and solitude would add emotional depth and intensity, creating compelling, character-driven narratives. In the end, both characters could thrive in the DC universe. Spider-Man would bring a youthful, humorous, and relatable perspective, balancing out the darker tones. Wolverine would enhance the universe's mature themes, fitting seamlessly into gritty, violent, and morally complex stories. So, if you're looking for some lighthearted fun and relatability, Spider-Man is your guy. But if you want to dive deep into dark, intense storylines, Wolverine would be a perfect fit. The choice really depends on the type of stories and dynamics you're after in the DC context.